Quincy Porter, 4-star, number 1 player in New Jersey, one of the best players in the Northeast, has Alabama in his final 6. He's set to visit Tuscaloosa. Alabama knows New Jersey, the Garden State, and they're going to try to garden another prospect. How about London Simmons? Yeah, you talk about a guy that's flying under the radar, got an Alabama offer. We're going to talk about the 3-star defensive lineman that had 15 sacks last year. Where does Kalen DeBoer rank amongst all of the college football coaches? Alabama had Nick Saban, which was always number 1 perennially, right, when they would rank that, CBS. So we're going to talk Kalen DeBoer and Dabo Swinney, former Alabama player, coach at Clemson, took 0 players in the transfer portal. I got to tell you, there's something refreshing about that. We're going to get into Dabo. We're going to talk all of these topics right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Let's get this party started. Here it is. And share with your friends, everybody. Say, hey, man, these guys, they get on, they talk about Alabama football, and it's just a big party, and they invited you to it. Here's your invitation. There he is at the party this morning. It's Big Sexy Elmo in the house at Brett Elmore Show. We can edit that out, but we're not going to. I'm at Broadcaster Mick on the socials, and it is great to see you, my friend. And before I get to the pleasantries, let's talk about Alabama recruiting, because we've got to come in with a hard-hitting start to the show. And here's a hard-hitting cornerback, 4-star from New Jersey, coming to Tuscaloosa this weekend. You going to show him around?
Oh, if they would invite me to do so, I would do that. Why not? Oradell, New Jersey. Boy, he's going to be a long way from home, isn't he? But this is a pretty good kid, 6'3", 190-pound, wide receiver. As a junior, 48 receptions, 1,066 yards, 16 touchdowns. If my Curry High School mathematics work out correctly, that's about 22 yards a catch. So had a big game in their state championship game, so he knows what it's like to play in the big one. And he's going to be in T-Town, where he's going to be facing a little bit of heat this weekend. It's going to be a little warm, not like it is in New Jersey, but hey, he can brave it. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. But look, this is a guy that Alabama would really like to get. You know, I mentioned he's the number 1 player in the state. You talk about some of the competition Alabama is fighting with teams to get. Penn State, obviously, right there next door. Texas A&M, big pockets. Oklahoma, boy, that'd be a long way. Ohio State, Michigan. So you get the 2 big powerhouses from the Big Ten. And then, of course, Alabama. And, so 6 schools that he's down to. And he's going to come to Tuscaloosa and check it out. And all he's got to do, remember, Alabama's already kind of dipped into that area for players with Latsier Brooks. Remember him? Latsier Brooks got him a wide receiver. So now you say, hey, man, you got the wide receiver. Now we need the cornerback. You're going to love it. We'll carpool. We'll just carpool right down the turnpike, over the Bay Bridge in Maryland, down 95. We'll come to Tuscaloosa through Atlanta.
Have the Sopranos theme song up real wide open as you cross the bridge. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, come on, welcome aboard. I mean, he's going to come check it out. A lot of folks say he's leaning a little bit toward Michigan or Ohio State, but he may want to stay up north. Who knows? But once he gets a little bit of this fine Southern hospitality, he'll be all right.
Consensus 4-star there. So he's not flying under the radar. And the reason I say that is that London Simmons is flying under the radar. 3-star in only 1 publication, not even listed in any of the other ones, but a defensive lineman, place that I've stayed at before, Flowood, right there outside of Jackson in Mississippi, Hartfield Academy. Guy had 15 sacks, and he's got that offer from Alabama. Alabama, one of the first real powers that have seen this guy and are saying, hey, you know what? He'd be a good fit in Tuscaloosa.
Now, Mick Gillespie, what business did you have in Flowood, Mississippi?
With baseball, being over there.
Oh yeah.
The hotels the hotel that we stayed in at baseball is there.
Yeah, he is a guy that you're right. I mean, he's under the radar. He's a 3-star, 6'3", 310 pounds. And I don't know. This is an intriguing guy to me because he is under the radar, but schools are starting to kind of mine that gold, I guess you would say. And Alabama's one of the first to really take a hard look at him. LSU's been in. They've rubbed their nose into our business over there, but Alabama, but mostly some smaller schools. But he's getting a lot of interest from some of the bigger schools now, and like I say, they know better than I do when it comes to recruiting. And this guy apparently has what it takes.
Yeah, NC State, Arkansas State, La Tech. You mentioned LSU. But a guy from right in our backyard, not too far away. And I'm surprised that none of the Mississippi schools have really gone hard after him, State or Ole Miss. But when you get that Alabama offer, all of a sudden it's like, hey, man, did you hear that they're giving an offer? Like, maybe we're missing something here.
Yeah, no, that's what I hate about all this is, I mean, and he's only, ranked in one recruiting service. And then when word gets out, then all of a sudden everyone starts ball hawking him.
Well, talking about ball hawking, how about the way that Alabama swooped in and ball hawked Kalen DeBoer right away from Washington? And now they've made the list of the best head coaches, and it doesn't have Nick Saban running the list as always, right? I mean, think about it. Nick Saban's been number one for a long time, but he retired. So now his protege, Kirby Smart, slides up into that spot. You got Ryan Day, 2, Dabo Swinney, and we're going to talk about him here shortly, 3, Brian Kelly, 4, Steve Sarkisian, 5, Brett, Kyle Whittingham, 6th. Could Alabama's coach not be in the top 10? Well, he's 7.
Be in the top 10.
He's number 7. Yeah, they put him at number 7. Yeah. Mike Norvell, 8, Dan Lanning, 9, and Lincoln Riley, 10. As you go through the list, you want to keep reading down? I mean, just curiosity. Franklin of Penn State, 11. Leopold of Kansas, 12th. Kleiman, Kansas State, 13th. Lane Kiffin of Ole Miss, 14th. Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State, 15. So there's your top 15 right there. I mean, I think after that, it just kind of gets a little bit thin. But let's talk about this now.
Wait a minute. Whoa. So you mean to tell me that Auburn is not on this list? Do you mean to tell me that Auburn's not, and Coach, what's his name, Hugh Freeze, is not on this list?
No, he isn't on the list. He really isn't.
And you mean that Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri is on the list?
Yeah, he is. Josh Heupel at Tennessee's on the list.
Heupel?
Mark Stoops of Kentucky's on the list.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's funny as all get out.
Yeah. War Eagle.
Whoa, Eagle.
Weagle.
Yeah. DeBoer last year was 31st in the poll. Now he's jumped up 24 spots. Hasn't even coached a down of football yet. He's already at 7th. And interestingly enough, the guy that may have taken the job was right behind him, Mike Norvell.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too.
But this doesn't matter. This is just something for everyone to read and us to talk about, and it really doesn't matter. As The Rock would say, it doesn't matter what CBS Sports has to say. Do I think Kirby Smart's the top coach of the country? Right now, I probably would say he is.
Yeah. Hugh Freeze ranks in at number 33.
33?
Yeah. Yep. Sandwiched.
Wow.
Yep. Sandwiched in between Brett Brent Venables at Oklahoma 34, and Mike Elko of Texas A&M 32. How about having Mike Elko ranked ahead of you? Interesting. I mean, I'm not saying Mike Elko's not a good coach. I've heard he is.
And talk about a sting. Gus Malzahn ranks ahead of him at 28th. That one stings bad.
Where's Brian Harsin at?
Where is Harsin at? What is Harsin doing now? I don't even know where that guy is.
I don't know.
He's probably enjoying his payday.
Yeah, right. I wish we had a payday like that.
Yeah, really. I would love to get fired to get paid millions to sit on my, you know what?
Yeah. Okay. So let me pull this up here because I think this is really interesting. This was the quote from Dabo. We signed a whole class of transfers from high school. There were 4 schools, Brett, in football that did not use the transfer portal to sign a player, right? Army, Navy, Air Force, and Clemson. He said he had 127 players go through the fall or the spring practice. Yeah, spring practice. 2 guys left.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
That's pretty intriguing. I like Dabo.
Me too.
I like Dabo. I wasn't for him getting the job. I don't know why. There was just something there. But and that may be a mistake. But and it's nothing against the guy. I just did not. I didn't think it was the right time for him, at least. But this is interesting. When you don't have many players leave like that, and you've recruited nothing but high school kids, and okay, let's see how this strategy works. Okay, let's just see how it works.
Well, he's been the one coach that has kind of been against all of the stuff going on right now.
Right.
In college football, no telling what they're spending over there on these guys, or they're not spending. I was for Dabo. I think everybody knows that. I love DeBoer. I think he was a good hire. I would have probably interviewed Dabo, but his contract made it to where it was going to be very difficult to even consider him because the buyout was so big. But a lot of Alabama fans had hard feelings about him because he beat Alabama twice in national championship games. We beat him a bunch of times too, and he's a great coach. Now, he has definitely seen his program take a hit since everything's kind of changed.
Yeah.
And people had big concerns about him adjusting to the way that things are now compared to the way that things were before. And they wonder if he's going to be able to withhold the status that they've had at Clemson in this new world of college football. He said that they looked at a couple of guys, but they didn't sign a couple of guys in the portal, right? But the bottom line is this. He is a great guinea pig to just see exactly how things work if you don't use the transfer portal. Period.
Yeah, but I would hate to be that guinea pig, considering my job's probably on the line.
Well, look, if you were Alabama, right? Just say you were Alabama, and you could have kept everyone on the roster except 2 guys, right? And the 2 guys that left, it wasn't like Caleb Downs was one of them, right? You lose 2 guys in the portal. Would you have said, hey, but you can't bring anybody in the portal? Would you have said, hey, I'm going to stick with the roster that we have that was – got to the Rose Bowl last year? Or do you think it's better kind of doing what and a lot of it had to do with Nick Saban, obviously retiring, but we had guys transferring anyway. The guys that weren't playing enough transferred, whether you wanted them to stay or not. What would you rather do? Have the entire group intact or lose and gain?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer. I like where we are, roster wise. I don't know what it's just the day and age that we live in. But like I say, Clemson's the guinea pig now,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's going to be Dabo's ass on the line
Yeah.
because this is he doing this because this is best for the program, or is he doing this for resistance against the way college football is now?
I think he's doing it because he knows that the direction that things are going right now with transfers, you take a big risk on character when you're bringing in guys from the transfer portal. Some of them are going to be great and some of them aren't. But it's exactly what Coach DeBoer said about not messing with the chemistry of the locker room, right?
Right, yeah, but
there's some great kids that transfer, Brett.
Right,
So I'm not saying
yeah.
that, but there's also some guys that just every time, they're transferring every year. There's always there's a reason why. They're a troublemaker and they're leaving because.
Well, I don't think we've got any of those guys. I don't think.
But I'm just saying in general. That's
yeah. But it's just the day. It's the day and age we live in. I think considering where we are in college football, I think Coach DeBoer has done the best job that he can with the transfer portal. I think he did a good job with it. So that's a tough question to answer. But like I say, considering let's single Dabo out.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is dealing with this transfer portal.
Yep.
And I think the way he's handled it, he's done well with it. Let Dabo be the guinea pig. I don't want Alabama to be the guinea.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll find out. But I'm honestly, I'm glad he's doing it because I'm very curious to see how.
What if he wins 2 national championships in a row?
Right. And what if his program's the one where you're not losing? I mean, look at the guys we lost. Caleb Downs, our best player, goes to Ohio State. And maybe this guy's creating loyalty, which is something that I feel like is really lost in what's going on in college athletics.
It is lost
at this moment, and so we'll find out. But that's here nor there, I guess. You develop a guy, you give him a free, you give him a free scholarship. Then they can just walk away. College football has to have a way for these guys to pay it back.
Yeah.
And so that's probably a way to deter it. And I don't know how you can't make them sit out a year. I mean, I thought that was a fair thing because of the fact that you're investing time and energy into them. Not everything has a dollar tag, attached to it. Like in education, you can't put a price on being educated. Like you just can't do it. I've told you before, Brett, my father, or maybe I said it on either this show or the one with Jay Coker, but my father couldn't read, was illiterate. And it's like, you just, and I heard it all the time. Hey man, get an education. It's the only thing they can't take away from you. And I'm being serious, and I was so proud when I walked across the stage at Alabama. That was like a big moment for me in my life because I had achieved this education. It cost me a lot of money. I've been saddled with some loans over the years, but at the end of the day, he's right because your brain. I got let go by both of my employers during COVID. It one in a weird way. I didn't get fired. It's just kind of the way it happened. On 3, the way that I got an email. I got a guy calls me I've never heard of, leaves me a message, and I'm basically they canceled the channel. It wasn't that they were firing me, and they're good guys over there. And it wasn't like there was ever a panic. It's like, hey man, you know what? I have the ability to go back and do something about it.
Right. Yeah.
Like. Well, we did this, right?
Yeah.
And
look,
that's
I can't help it you got fired, okay?
Yeah, but
don't blame me.
Brett, there is a value to the education that you get.
There is a value to the education you get, and I'm glad you walked across that stage and got your diploma from the University of Alabama. None of my family on my father's side, believe it or not, we have never had a college graduate. And me being the smart one, the very educated one, the most educated of all the Elmores out there, I went to college.
Right.
I went to college and I flunked out after 2 years. So that's why I'm telling my son, you got to go to college and finish out the dream, son.
I know. You're the smart one of the group of this group too. So
I don't have the student loan debt. And look, right. I made it. I'm doing fine in my life. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
But look, we could go down this rabbit hole all day, because the thing is, when all this money and everything, and you're talking about loyalty and everything else, these coaches make a lot of money, but they sign a contract too. These kids coming out of school, if they want money, they need to sign a contract.
Yeah, I agree.
And there needs to be a buyout clause, and put that in there too. If they want to go somewhere else, fine. But you're going to have to be bought out of your contract.
Yeah, right. It needs to be fair for everybody. But the old system wasn't fair for everybody either. So, no. I mean, the players absolutely got worked by the old system, and now it's the other way around, except the way that it's kind of put together now is it's ruining.
Well, it's BS. We've seen players transfer like twice.
I know,
like in the same year.
I know. Like, yeah, right. Exactly. It's so ridiculous.
It is.
But one thing that's not ridiculous, guys, is that newlifeart.com is offering you this with the promo code Bama Tailgate, 25% off orders, excluding new releases. You better take advantage of that, because it is a great deal. And as I look around my studio, look at that right there.
Wow.
You recognize him?
That's
Trent Richardson. He was at your event this year.
Yeah, Trent.
AJ McCarron.
Yeah, I like that.
That was when Alabama swamped the LSU Tigers. So it's not the new releases, but go back through and those prints. Like, you wanted the one of Kenyon Drake diving into the end zone. You wanted it because you're in the background.
Yeah. It's look, get the greatest hits. That's what this promo code's for. The greatest hits, not the new releases. Get back to them oldie goldies, baby. And get that 25% off.
Yeah, take advantage of it. I had to reach. I'll tell you, I thought maybe I messed that up, because I was just thinking like 25%. That's a pretty good deal. I just went back and checked. Yeah, it's 25%. Yeah, making sure. Just
it'd be funny if it was only 15%. Now you got to cover the other 10.
Sorry. Oh man! All right, tell everyone about the Brett Elmore Show.
6 till 10 a.m. weekdays. If you like classic rock, classic hits, tune in. We have a good time. 6 to 10. Get your morning started. And look forward to seeing you on WJLX 101.5 if you're in the Walker County area. If you're in North Central Alabama, 102.5 HD3.
Awesome. And guys, thank you for hanging out with us. And one final message.
They call him Big Sexy. Coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Nick gives you the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.